Good morning,
Good
YouTube.
morning, you guys.
It's Jack Rabbit Empress,
Tori Boo 151.
and you know what day it is. It's Table Talk
Table talk.
Tuesday. Table Talk.
Table talk.
Table Talk. We haven't got a huge amount of viewership yet, but you know what? We enjoy doing it, don't we?
Yeah.
So we're going to just continue to do what we love to do because I think that anybody that loves to do what they like to do, and that's what you should do, then I think that you should continue doing that. Don't try to conform or change yourself to catch an audience. Do what you do best and do you.
Yeah.
And leave the rest to God. Today we got a lot of stories to talk about. So I guess we'll start off with. You want me to start off, or do you want to start off with the drug dealer robbery?
You can start.
Okay, there was a story I heard, and it was about a young girl. This is in Detroit, who was a stripper. Okay, and she was stripping, and she was trying to be about that life, but she's not about that life. So she's stripper, hooker, all of that, white girl. And she goes over to her boyfriend's house, who is one of them drug boys, okay? And she robs him. Supposedly he had $120,000 cash and a bunch of pills. And y'all don't start me with what pills, because I can't remember what the pills were. So anyway, she robs him of all of this. Now, he gets in touch with her, calls her, asks about it. She gonna play crazy, and he said, "Okay, that's fine. If you don't bring my money back in 24 hours, I'm going to kidnap your sisters and brothers and kill them or torture them or what have you." Now she's got a mixed brother, look about 18, 19, and two mixed sisters and brothers. One is 16, one is 13. So she tells the brother sister. Now they never bring in the mother or the father or anything in this, and we don't know anything about them.
Nope.
But she tells the oldest of the brothers that what she did. So he goes in and he's gonna try to get the money back for her to give it back to these dope boys. I don't even know what she spent it on. I would have been going to the store and refunding stuff
Really?
and get my money back.
Really?
But he breaks in a basement window at a house and he finds a shoebox. It's got $100 in there and there's a bunch of weed in there. And the cops pull up, so he drops everything, tries to get out, but he gets caught. The cops walk in, they see the money and the drugs. Now he can't help them. And oh, by the way, she got arrested right away because she had to tell on herself in order to get the police to save her brothers and sisters. So then Monday morning, the dope boys came in and they did kidnap her brother and sister from the house in Detroit, and they took them separately. So now they're all in a panic. They put an Amber Alert up and everything to see where are these kids. Well, come to find out, the cops had traced the call back to the house in Detroit of where this dope boy was calling from, because he called about 8 times to make ransom demands. Get this money back, or we're going to cut his fingers off and stuff. So the cops traced the call back to that Detroit house for the boy. They'd set up a surveillance out front there, and come to find out, sure enough, two dudes came out the house. They got into this red SUV. The police proceeds to follow them. They crash into a snowbank, and they get those two dudes, and then they look in the trunk, and there's the 16-year-old bound and taped up, mouth taped and blindfolded, and fingers cut. Not cut off, but very deeply cut, where he had to get stitches right away. So now we have a 13-year-old girl. But thank the Lord, they did not rape her or molest her or beat her or anything. They took her to another place in Detroit, and then they changed their mind. They took her down to Indiana. They changed their mind. They ended up dropping her off at Taco Bell in Kentucky. And then they gave her $200 and told her to catch a cab back. And that is exactly what she did. She took that money. She had the sense. I don't even know if Camille would do that. She's 13. But she had the sense enough to catch a cab back to Detroit, and the kids got back safe and sound. She hadn't been cut or her fingers cut off or anything. And so now, I don't know if they got the main boy, but they got two of the dudes. And I don't know if her boyfriend was one of them. The brother, like I said, her brother is locked up because of the burglary, and she's locked up for all her thieving and everything else.
Yeah.
Listen, if you are not about that life, please don't try to jump in there and try to be slick or take anything or anything, because
Right.
they're coming for you. Now she's up there crying those crocodile tears and so upset and whatnot, because she says she's scared to be outside of jail, but she's also scared to be in jail because they might try to attack her too. So there you go.
That's totally utterly ridiculous. I don't know why was she
Right.
stealing in the first place. Supposedly, she was doing all this stuff. Don't you have money?
Right. So greed, girl,
know.
greed.
I don't know, but we're moving on
Move on.
swiftly and professionally.
Please.
Justin J.
Justin J. 1, 2, 3, 2.
But we're talking about Nick Gordon on Dr. Phil.
Now, who is Nick Gordon?
Nick Gordon is supposedly Bobby Christina's husband, brother,
boyfriend. Uncle Daddy, baby.
I'll say everything in between. He's all the relations to Bobby Christina.
Right.
So he wants to go on Dr. Phil to speak on the happenings with Bobby Christina, and I guess to speak about Bobby Brown as well. And we saw a clip on there. He's talking about, I hate Bobby Brown.
And you know what? You know how you hear somebody like DJ Academics, you look at him, you're like, your voice don't sound like what it sounds like on YouTube, but it's a great sounding voice. Mm-hmm. Well, he is one of those.
Right.
You look at him, he looks all male, so to speak. But when you hear him, he up in that falsetto register up there.
Little kids.
Right, up there in that Michael Jackson range.
Right.
But this one I understand. Okay. So they end up taking him to rehab, right?
Yeah, afterwards. So said he was intoxicated. He was kind of drinking or something.
Drinking and Xanax. Okay. His mother is there with him. Where has she been? Because supposedly Whitney took him in and raised him.
Right.
I don't know. It's all a big mess, but we'll see. Sorry, guys. Somebody's calling me from Maine. All right. University of Oklahoma students are now being expelled. Yes.
Right.
There was a viral video that went out with these University of Oklahoma SAE fraternity. It wasn't all the students. It's one particular fraternity. And if you haven't seen it, look it up. Go Google it. Yeah, it's University of Oklahoma SAE fraternity. And they're on the bus and they're singing about we hate niggas and we're going to lynch them up in a tree and all of that.
Yeah.
Now, the video that got shot, we are not actually seeing all of it. One part of it I've heard has on there where they're asking whoever this person is filming to stop filming. Mm-hmm. And they're not going to stop filming.
Right.
And it goes viral. And, of course, the president of the university sees it. And he said that house is going to be shut down immediately. So if you didn't get all your shit out today, too bad. So sad. The house was shut down. The fraternity was expelled off the campus, and those people who they could identify, and they can identify them right up in the camera, were expelled as well. This is not new. Mm-hmm. It's new. It may be new to us in the sense that we are seeing these people talking about their hate for blacks out loud, but we wasn't even supposed to see that.
Right.
They sang about it like that's what they do, and that's how they get from point A to point B as a joke. It wasn't anything that anybody felt uncomfortable with, because it wasn't just the boys standing up singing it. It was everybody on the bus. Well, almost everybody was singing it. And I would like to think that the person who filmed it was appalled by it and planned to show, see, this is what this is about.
Right.
So thank goodness that the president jumped in and he did something about it. He didn't try to put it off worrying about their parents' money or meetings and stuff. I mean, the Sooners are huge. That school is huge. It has a terrific reputation, and y'all fuckers is not going to mess it up for everybody.
No, the president jumped in right away and he cut all ties with the chapter of that fraternity. Mm-hmm. He has nothing to do with them, and he won't have it there at the university. It's ridiculous.
It's like, we can't make y'all come together.
Right.
But not on our time, baby. Not on our bus. Not on our watch. Right. This will not be happening. So he was like that, and I applaud him for that.
I do too. So now we're talking about Chris Brown. Mm-hmm. Okay, we want to know what's going on. Supposedly or allegedly, he's the father of some dancer or stripper, somebody. He has a child with baby girl, and um, they said they did a paternity test. I personally don't believe it because, like I said in my own video, if you watched, the child didn't really look like Chris. It looked like the person that was taking care of the baby,
This the
boyfriend
whole
was taking care
thing
of the
that people
baby.
are saying, okay, that paternity test must be proof. Baby, show me the receipts. You're trying to say because she's Mexican or half Mexican or whatever, and Chris is like the baby gonna be like, that might be true. But with her being Mexican, that baby could be like no matter who she was with.
Right.
And the baby is being held by in the lap of her now boyfriend, and it looked just like him.
Right.
It's messy. Because come to find out, she was friends or ran in a circle with Carucci and them. You see pictures of them partying together.
Right.
The lady was married, but she says they haven't been together in 6 years. But that don't mean y'all haven't been touching base, so to speak.
Right.
And then she's got another boyfriend. So I don't know when she pushed Chris up in there, but they got some, some sexually explicit pictures of her. You know how they do. They always want to show the woman in the worst possible light.
Right.
But this is messy. And a woman is in charge of that coochie for sure. And it don't have to go to everybody. And you think about all these dudes she been sleeping with raw.
Right. And then too, I said that the baby has been here for 9 months. And you're just now coming out saying that this is Chris Brown's child.
Now they're talking about that he was taking care of the child on the DL, but then all of a sudden she jumped up and blabbed her mouth and went to TMZ. And so I don't know the real truth or the ins and outs because right now Chris is on tour.
Right.
The only thing we know is he kind of shut everybody up and shut everybody down, like stay in your lane. This is my situation. But I think he doesn't understand, he might have haters, but then you got so many people, I can tell you what I know, that really love Chris Brown and want to protect him or make sure he's okay or whatever. So, and of course, here go Carucci again, acting like she's done with him. But don't be surprised to see her again. And no, I'm not doing another reading on them. I'm so over her behavior.
Really?
So, good luck on that, Chris.
Yeah. Now we're seeing in Puerto Rico, there's a story about a side piece, right?
Yeah, girl. It was in Puerto Rico, and it was in Spanish, but some people commented and translated it. And you looking at this video, it was on Worldstar, and one lady is holding this one chick, and the other lady is wailing on her and holding her by her hair and beating her and punching her with her knee and all of that. Next thing you know, the lady pulls out a knife and cuts off the lady's ponytail and just grabs hair and just knifes it off, till she looks like a hot mess. Well, as it turns out, she was a side piece to the one that's cutting her hair, her husband. And she was, I guess, messing with her husband, come to find out. And the ladies got on her. Here's my thing, though. Why is it every time a man is messed up, we want to jump on the other woman?
Right.
You can say, yeah, she ought to know better, but shouldn't he? You took your files with him. Now, they're saying that supposedly there's a video of him, or no, he didn't even say it was a video. They said they jumped on him and got him too. But my thing is, why is there no video?
Right.
Wouldn't they have filmed that just as well?
Right. I don't get it, and that happens all the time. Women want to come at the other person, but how would she have known if he's lying to you and he's lying to her as well?
It very well could be. That happens all the time where he says they're separated or whatever, we're not together, and then what does she know?
She wouldn't.
But do your homework, ladies. Do your homework. I mean, from checking him on the internet to finding out where he lives, or following him or whatever. Do your homework. I don't mean off of everybody you meet, but if it's like he can't spend the night, he's not available on the weekends, certain things that's obvious.
Right.
It's Valentine's Day and he's not by your house for the Valentine's breakfast, brunch, lunch, or dinner. And you find that him the next day come to your house wanting to give you some old flowers or something. Girl, there's a problem.
Right.
But don't just automatically jump on the woman because many times she doesn't know. And yes, they did this and that and the third. And yes, you're angry.
Right.
But do it with him. You don't have to get up and fight him. I'm not suggesting that. But you can leave, or you can let her have him or whatever, because the same way he cheated on you with her is the same way he'll be cheating on her with the next. So.
Exactly. So you never know.
Mm-hmm.
So we see that Raven Simone was on The Real yesterday.
Yeah.
Great to see her. Great to see her back in the limelight. She was looking good.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to speak about Raven because I thought that it was great to hear that getting her role on Empire, that Lee Daniels and Jesse Smollett had vouchered for her to get the role on Empire. And of course, Raven at first is like, no.
Did you say voucher?
Yes.
It's vouched.
Vouched. But we're excuse me, I lost my train of thought. But Jesse Smollett and Lee Daniels helped get her that role. And at first she was like, no, I'm not trying to work right now, or I want to go in retirement. And Jesse's like, no, girl, get the role. Stop playing, get the role.
Mm-hmm. So speaking of Jesse Smollett, he finally came out on Ellen yesterday. He had taped the show, and I didn't watch the show, but from their video, it looked or sounded as if she had kind of approached the subject, and he kind of, I don't know, blew it off or whatever. But then he came back afterwards and he said that, I really want to talk to you. And they're filming this too, and that you're a real inspiration for me. And I'm not in the closet. There is no closet. My mama knows what I am. He just started going on talking, and he really revealed to us he wanted to be indirect, but ended up being more direct the more he talked. So now we find out that Justice Smollett is gay in real life. This is what I don't understand. Why try to hide that? If that's what you are, then that's what you are. Accept it and live strong. Don't play a character who's doing exactly the same thing you wrestling with. If you're playing that character wrestling with, then it's time for you to come out to everybody else. Because in this day and age, if you're still homophobic or you care one way or the other, something's wrong with you.
Really?
Long before they even talked about homophobic behavior and all that kind of stuff, I always felt the same way that I feel now. Whatever you do in your bedroom is your business.
Right.
I don't care if you got the same sex, a dog, a cat, a donkey, a pickle, a cucumber. I don't really care what you do. You don't, because I'm not trying to share what I'm doing, and I'm not trying to hear yours either. So, anyways, congratulations to him to have the summer courage to come out, and coming out with Ellen is probably the right person to come out with.
Yeah, I think so. Just being that Ellen is gay herself, so yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, we have Nick Young talking about Iggy Azalea. Would you like to speak on this?
Okay, so there was an ESPN forecast where the announcer was talking about how Nick Young, basketball player for the Lakers, should be killing the game because Kobe is out injured. And he says, the way you ought to be killing that game is the way Iggy Azalea, your girlfriend, is killing rap. Ha ha ha. Very funny. I thought it was very funny, actually. Yeah. So now Nick Young wants to get all soft and moist and start writing tweets to this guy, this ESPN sports broadcaster, talking about, I'm going to see you again, and don't meet me in an alley or whatever, to that effect, like, I'm going to beat you up if you talk about her again.
You're going to catch these hands.
Right. So then the announcer didn't say anything, and I'm like, oh, I wish he had said something. They kind of find out he did. Monday, he was on a radio show, and they were asking about the Nick Young, Iggy Azalea situation. He was saying it was a joke, and to Nick's credit, he had taken down some of those nasty tweets. And he was like, yeah, well, he could meet me in Temecula, which is a little town in California. And he went on to say, nah, I'm not worried about him with our new superintendent or whatever basketball game. All that drama is not going to jump off to begin with. And he said, but really and truthfully, he needs to be more worried about my wife because she's from the South and she really knows how to scrap. And she might put her paws on him, which I thought was funny. And then his free throw shot is garbage, I guess. So then he's like, yeah, his record shows that he's at 70% failure. So he got a 70% chance of missing me if he swings anyway. So that was very cute, very funny. So now we find that Iggy is going to be off of Twitter and off of Instagram. And once again, we don't care.
No.
So
Do you?
Anyways, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Comment,
Thumbs up.
thumbs up, subscribe. Subscribe. And I'm Empress, and this is Tori Boo 151. And you guys have a blessed day.
See ya.
Bye.